Most businesses, when it comes to inbound calls, either don't respond at all, or there is a 30 to 40% chance that when it comes to routing them to the correct person, an error happens. And that's revenue left on the table, considering that on average, each call is worth $200 to $500. But what if I told you that one AI agent could handle 7 different call types, qualify each one perfectly, and route to the right specialist every time? That's exactly what we built for a real estate client of ours, and in this video I'm going to show you the strategy and the system behind it. Now this case is for a real estate company, but it can really apply to any type of business. That can be a plumbing, for example, or a dental clinic. And with that said, let's jump right into it. Cool. So let's start with the problem. So first of all, you want to be picking every call that comes. Many businesses, unfortunately, are missing a lot of deals and a lot of opportunity by just not answering the phone. And that means that the client will probably go to the next competitor that is available. And let's say you pick up the call. Well, 30 or 40% of the times, if you have an IVR system, you're going to misroute your prospect or already client to the wrong specialist or wrong person, which is again a friction, let's say, that is decreasing the chance of satisfaction for your own prospect. And of course, you would like to have that, if you want to pick up every call, that means that you should have some semblance of 24/7 availability. So that is generally how most businesses, let's say, act or work. So one interesting, let's say, or potential way to counter that is to implement and incorporate AI where it matters. And why I'm careful with these words, because I mean incorporate and not replace. That's because AI can really do well what is repetitive. So instead of having that, problem where you're missing calls, you can just allow or route, like get AI to pick up the calls. AI now is able to really talk in a human and realistic way. So you get it to take the calls and do specific tasks that are just repetitive, or manual, tedious. Those tasks that might not be, extremely valuable and, or rather, yeah, just tedious and manual. You can get it to, qualify the person, understand what they actually need in human, language. And when you add a bit of reasoning into, the AI, then you're able to, by using, natural language, you can route the person in the right direction. So you're basically taking that initial step, picking the call, and then routing it to the right agent or right human, in that case, and you're delegating it to an AI or to technology. So that allows you to have 24/7 availability. That means that, for example, let's say you know that at 6 p.m. you don't have humans available, but what you can do is have AI just collect every call that comes in, answer potential FAQs, and if the user actually needs a human, you can say, hey, okay, I'll take note of what's going on, and tomorrow morning you create a ticket and blah blah blah. But then tomorrow morning you're going to say, hey, we'll actually get back as soon as possible. Tomorrow morning you can expect a call from us, and you do a callback. So you just don't miss that opportunity, to capture that prospect or that lead, that instead of you not responding, it would have gone to a totally different person or a competitor, because they're just looking for who answers or serves them first. Yeah, so AI can really take that repetitive, and just make you 24/7 available. So in this case, like, an example of a project that we had, is it's a real estate company, and the way that they are, let's say, working through this is that they have multiple listings. That means that they have a project in one area and in the second area and third area. So they have a lot of, let's say, projects that you need to think about. But that's not all. So you might be interested in buying one of these properties or selling, your own property. So you can see that, there are different ramifications and different, potential avenues. Some real estate companies also do property management. So that means that they have tenants that are, might have some issues. I don't know, with their kitchen, with their sink, and they want a specialist. So you can see that there is a lot of potential use cases of people calling your phone number, your initial, let's say, phone number, and you want to be able to correctly reroute them to the specific specialist or the specific person that is in charge of that area. And um, what's awesome about this is that we're able to really, identify their intent. As you can see here in this real estate example, there are, a myriad of potential ways in which someone could come in over the phone and talk and ask for. But we're able to basically take that person, understand their intent, and um, trigger like a flow. So that means that for some people, we're going to ask them, okay, what's your address? If they're interested in selling, for example, like which address are you? Is your property they want to sell? So we're trying to record that so we can understand. Or, well, if they're interested in buying one of the properties that we have listed, then they're probably going to ask us, or we're going to ask them, okay, which property are you specifically talking about? And probably they will have some questions. So we will need to inject something called a knowledge base, where we store all the data about the potential properties that we have. And we go and retrieve that data and then answer questions. So you can do a lot of that manual, let's say, screening or qualifying done by the AI with a human language. And then let's say the call then gets transferred. What you can do as well, like once you transfer the call to a specialist, is that once the call, let's say, quote unquote, ends and you transfer it, what can happen, or what you can do, is actually send a full report to the specialist. So they have an idea. Okay, this is the phone number, this is the email, this is the person talking, they're called like that, and they're looking for this. So, the specialists, once you transfer that data, they get this full report that they're able to, utilize in order to, have a better conversation, and they don't have to go through that qualifying stage that the AI already did. So it's really, you're outsourcing a lot of the data collection in the beginning, understanding their intent, what they want, and then handling the specific, issue or discussion with the human, so that the human can really focus on the important stuff. And that's what I mean by not replacing, but rather aiding and working with humans, and not necessarily just completely replacing, because that's honestly a bit utopic right now, and unrealistic. Yeah, and you can imagine that once you get all this data, you're able to, with these systems, you're able to really connect it to any CRM that you're using. So many companies nowadays use Go High Level, but you can really sync it to any specific CRM that you're currently using. So you're able to really create something custom that works on your current systems. All right, so that was an idea of how a inbound routing AI system could actually look like. So it can really reduce the friction that happens when it comes to the initial contact with a prospect. So you're always available 24/7, and when you're available, you're also able to point them to the right direction on the information they're looking for, or the person they're looking for, the actor they're looking for. And let's say it's night and it's after hours. What you do is you just take note and you say, hey, we can come in the next day if it's something that actually requires a human, and resolve it, instead of call being captured by some other competitor and you losing the opportunity. I hope this was beneficial. And again, if you're interested in trying to understand if this could be a fit for your specific business, now remind you that I offer 5 free consultation slots, which you can find in the first link in the description. With that said, I thank you so much, and I see you in the next video.